Welcome back to Creative Crit, another episode of yet another adventuring party. Today's session, a deal most vile. When we last finished off with our adventurers, we had successfully fought the siege at Goldsink, the village where all of the silverware defended themselves against the Concoctians. And as we start once again on that day, the village, while in quite some disarray after its assault, is quite easily putting itself back together. The moats that had been dug outside are being refilled in and planted with crops by your own instruction. The walls that were demolished or ruined, the gate is all beginning to be replaced. The overall morale of Goldsink could never be higher. Except now for its saviors and the leadership of the village itself. You all stand inside of one of the porcelain houses. It is the morning after Emperor Heroism Vial arrived with his proposition. And everyone has spent a good long while thinking through the night on what to do. You are seated with former Mayor Sporkin, who of course is sitting next to the acting current mayor,
who is well on his way to re-election.
Mayor Saba. As well as Shams and the strange outline of Barnaby, who leans over the table, nibbling away with no success at some physical mashed potatoes. While there is a joy outside, there is deliberation, an air of decision, an air of opportunity and pressing choice.
Is the Emperor still around, or do we have to go to him?
The Emperor left immediately. He had only stopped by and spoke with you, and once you had mentioned that you wanted some time to think on it, he is the Emperor. He doesn't have time to just simply wait around for your answer. So at the moment, you are expecting some sort of diplomat, some sort of invitation of some kind within the next few hours.
And his deal was that we would go and slay a beast for him.
He said there was something that was destroying the western side of the Empire. Something that he only referenced to as the Rampage.
Do any of the silverware folk have any indication as to what that is?
So, former Mayor Sporkin beads up with some anxious perspiration on his prongs.
That's weird.
As he thinks, I've never seen it myself. I've only heard tales. For the past few months, something has been ravaging the western sides. We've lost contact with one of our sister villages there. Some time ago. We have not heard anyone since it came through and demolished that entire settlement.
So it truly is something that is causing damage to other people in this region?
It is, which is why the Concoctians then started conscripting us. Perhaps the Emperor felt pressed to do something, but obviously he did the wrong thing. And we cannot stand for us fighting this battle anymore.
As a representative for democracy, as the mayor who was democratically appointed the mayor, I find it hard to align with the Emperor, but
As what you should, says Shams.
perhaps we can make an exception. He is a friend, after all.
You're gonna have to get used to that. It's
a friend? A friend? Emperor Heroism to Vial? Perhaps a year ago. Perhaps when things were different in this kingdom. But no, with the changes that have gone on, never a friend.
Well, he's a friend of your friend.
Who's that?
I'm your friend.
Oh.
You're my friend.
Oh.
We're friends.
Sporkin, here, let me lay this out. Hey, Sable, all those guys you killed yesterday, what were they? How did they stand on your...
Best friends.
There you go.
We were very close.
That's going to take some getting used to. You're right.
It's deeply unsettling.
You can't be closer than being covered in somebody's insides.
Bree, you yourself have an awareness of the rampage. There is some creature that has been tearing up the entire army units that are being sent out to the west. And you have had several times where you were listed for being used as ammunition on the Western Front. Luckily, you've not yet had to encounter the rampage, but you know that any knife or pronged individual that's ever been sent there has never returned.
So news is all quiet on the Western Front?
Heavily, yes. It is quiet on the West.
Deep cut.
Also, I'm not a negotiations guy or a deals man or what. I don't know the word. But I'm willing to bet we're not his first choice.
Well, obviously.
No, obviously we were the first choice. Well, not really. We were the second, but...
That makes sense.
Wait, who was the first?
Well, he had champions. They didn't fare so well.
Last time we met people who described themselves as champions, we pantsed them.
Really? What does that mean? Says the floating spork with no pants.
Yes,
well,
I too am curious.
You know how Grant over there wears these things on his leggies?
His legs aren't just abnormally large and tubular?
Oh no, and I pulled down his pants.
It's like that.
Everyone inside of this hut leans in with interest, looking at your britches underneath with, ooh.
I'm so glad I wore britches today.
The other ones come off too.
Interesting. You are almost like the Pale then.
The what now?
The seers, the men made of cloth that came and asked you those questions.
Oh no, they were really dumb. I mean, wait, maybe we are like them.
I'm sure he wasn't trying to call you dumb. Just, lots of layers.
Frankly, says Shams, with his crossbow on the table, large foot planted up on it. Frankly, I wouldn't give the Emperor any time of day. I don't think it's worth meeting him. I wouldn't trust him. He's dangerous. He's got more power than you can imagine.
I agree with the crossbow man. I was conscripted by him for... Okay, I'm not actually sure how long. I hit my head a few times. Or my equivalent of a head. I'm trying to use your terminology.
Yes.
And I appreciate it.
But he doesn't care about any of us. And he doesn't care about you either. All right? You're as much fodder as we were. We go and we talk to him, it's going to be a trap. And we're all going to end up dead.
Perhaps, says, leaning out from his hood, the concave face of old Waterspots, the village elder. Perhaps, but he has come to see something which none other so far has been able to offer him. Prophecy, realization, or not, the three of you resemble figures. And a figure has not been seen in this land for at least an age.
That is true.
Old Waterspots speaks clearly, says Mayor Sporkin. I wouldn't trust the Emperor with my longest prong amongst us. However, he has never given an audience within the past year to no one. Not since those infamous days.
Well, that's because we're friends.
Of course, yes.
Yes.
He sees something in you that he sees not from anyone else. If we had the opportunity, old Waterspots himself went to the Emperor with the other village elders to ask for an audience. And they only returned tarnished and weakened.
To be fair, he's not the best speaker in the world.
That's fair, he says.
Maybe if he, came in with an act?
Perhaps. Yes, you certainly came in with an act. And you got the whole show to watch.
Yes.
We were lucky in that sense. If we were to fight a prolonged engagement, we won here in Goldsink. But there are only 3 of you. Amongst every village Porcelainians live in. It would be an impossible fight.
Wait, there's more of you guys?
Yes, there's many.
Oh, gosh. Wow. I just got used to you guys.
What, you thought we all lived here? Says one of the random spoons.
Where did you think I came from?
Here?
No.
I feel kind of bad now.
Yes, Sabel, says Shams. This isn't the only village that I've been sneaking food into in these past few weeks. But Sporkin does have a point. No one's ever been given an audience with the new Emperor Heroism Vial. That alone just might make it worth it. Still, I wouldn't trust it, and I definitely wouldn't take our Epiphany into the capital.
Oh, no, that's a bad idea.
What do you think, Johnny? He says, looking over at Johnny, who's sitting and tinkering on the table. There is a lagging response from Johnny Dynamite before suddenly a different energy seems to collect in his eyes. An energy that you've kind of picked up on and recognized at times when Hornrim begins speaking. And then there's a belch of colors from his mouth. And he disappears.
Okay.
Oh, that's very regular. We all do it very... Normal's probably not the word, but it's gonna keep happening.
So it is true. Figures may move when not being properly observed.
What?
Well, yes. That's obviously what we saw, right? I took one glance over at him and he was gone just like that. That is what the Concoctians thought. That's why they brought their giant eye to watch you.
No, no, that's not.
That's not how it is.
Then what did we just see? It was disgusting and terrifying. I don't know how to feel about it.
Oh, you are correct.
That's Johnny.
Yeah, that is Johnny.
Yeah, there's still just a sort of a belch wisp of multicolored sort of mist in the air that then kind of cascades down on the food, and everyone kind of pushes their food away, done with it.
I'm gonna poke it.
You poke through, and it disperses with the air fluctuations of you pushing your hand. Johnny seems completely disapparated at this point. Well, drat! Now they've only got 2 of you.
Well, he'll be back.
Are taking applications.
Well, to say my time spent with you hasn't been eventful would be a downright lie. But I don't think my journey lies with you.
Oh.
The Emperor isn't interested in men like me. Unless, of course, it's capturing them and putting them to trial.
I mean, having you would definitely give us a leg up.
Oh, I just meant Bree. Bree, you wanna do this just to get a crack at him? Maybe we get a crack at the old man.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. I mean, we'd really have to keep it under wraps, make sure that he has no idea. But if he shows any sign of lying to us, if we're that close, I know I could take him out.
Good. All right, then.
Yeah.
You know what they say? Keep your friends close and your friends closer.
Shortly after this, the sound of trumpets can be heard making their way up to the gate, the newly restored gate of Goldsink. Oh, I bet that's your audience then. Listen, I know where the rampage is. If he sends you there, then I wouldn't take this epiphany anywhere close to the capital, Sokietu. Let me take it. If you can't make a deal, I can at least deliver some more food to the other villages and make sure they can sustain themselves. I'll make my way across north and meet you in the west.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I don't want your weird horse.
What?
I mean, Johnny was really attached to him.
I'll take care of Barnaby, don't you worry. Even if he's got those dead eyes.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Very well, then let's go meet our audience, I suppose.
All right. I'm ready.
You all step outside into the village of Goldsink, where now you can see one of the Concoctian Epiphany engines pushing a large carriage of ornate design. And out from this carriage, atop it there being two Concoctian soldiers, one to pilot and the other to guard, out from this carriage steps a man with two arms, long flowing blonde hair, a short beard, and a thin singular leg. He is dressed in fine noble gallantry and has a massive metal encasing around his one massive knee. He steps out from the carriage with the grace of an aristocrat, looks about the place with some muddled confusion, and then settles his eyes on you. Ah! Guests of the Emperor, please, guests of the Emperor, make your way. Gather your things, you have been invited by His Emperor Heroism to Vial for a special dinner at the capital Sokietu.
I'm going to run up and give him a hug.
You start running up, and as you do, he takes a few hops back, shocked, and you wrap your arms around him. The other, one of the guards leans over and starts splashing a bit and has to kind of resettle himself as he grabs his weapon. And this man mimics your same action.
What does he feel like? Is he warm?
Yeah, he's warm. Yeah. I mean, he feels like flesh, basically, just not as much flesh as your other friends have.
I'm gonna just kind of like go like this and go, you feel so warm.
I just had a grand cup of tea. You there, are you with this fellow who has attached himself to me? He says as he points to Grant.
Oh no, I'm Grant.
Ah! You must be one of the others. There's a third I'm looking for, then. Where is he?
Non-existent.
Oh.
I'll be representing him.
A representative?
Yes.
This is my
Unorthodox, but
consigliere.
acceptable.
Yes, that word.
My name is Courtney, and I am one of the main advisors to the Emperor.
That name is adorable.
Well, thank you. It is a regal name, just the same as my father's, and his before him.
Oh.
I will be accompanying you on the long journey to the capital, Sokietu. If there's anything else you need, please gather it and make your way into the carriage. We don't have much time. Shall be a swift journey, and I don't want to get into any setbacks.
All we need are friends, and I'm finally gonna stop hugging him.
Oh. He
That whole time.
kind of he straightens out his garb, and nods at you. He then also looks at Grant and extends his arms expectedly as well. You come up and kiss his cheeks. Even more shock and awe overcomes the eyes of Courtney, who, for a man with quite small, beady eyes, he definitely gets them large and in shock as once again you embrace him in a different manner.
All right.
Wow.
Let's party.
I see why the Emperor has some interest in you individuals. You have some quite delicate customs.
We have some interest in his delicacies, too.
Oh, I'm sure you will need them.
As we approach and start to get into the carriage, Bree is going to flick her blade end up to his neck, just briefly to be like, "I'm watching you. All right, you try to betray us. I got my eye on you."
And the formal greeting.
And this is where she's going to reveal that she has crafted for herself out of fabric just a little cloth mask that has 2 holes in it so that she can make the slits different shapes to match the eyes of the other figures. So that they can vaguely emote
I love
as
that.
a knife. It wraps around their hilt. So
that is cool. Yes. So you flick yourself up right with the blade edge at his throat, and for the first time he calms entirely. Ah, yes, the traditional greeting of a porcelainian.
It is the custom.
Customs are customs.
Flick
Very well, I shall make sure to send word to have accommodations for a porcelainian as well. Is there anything else you require before we are on our way?
You're coming too, right?
Oh, I am coming. My entire point is to be in the carriage with you as collateral. Should anything wrong happen, I am yours.
Yes, you are.
Well, you're sitting next to Sable.
So, you guys get into this carriage, which has very fine blue seats, a dark royal blue, and is quite spacious, while also having what looks like sort of a small heated pool in the middle, with steam sort of wafting up and filling the carriage cabin with some humidity. You can only get the strong sort of smell of rose coming off of this.
Wow, someone must be rich.
You then hear people hear knocking around in the velvet box of the Epiphany engine behind, before some soldiers come, and you can hear a large beast start to settle down, and shortly after, snoring. Which is when the engine kicks up and the carriage begins barreling down the road, leaving Goldsink away as a speck in mere minutes.
So has your horse had an existential crisis before?
Our horse? I'm not acquainted with whatever runs this thing.
Oh.
Anyway, is there any special accommodations any of you will be needing this evening?
Swim trunks. If wait, what do I do at the pool? Sorry, what's...
You don't require aromatics.
Are drinks free?
My apologies. This is a very Concoctian custom. I'll have them set it off immediately. Drinks? Absolutely. You are going to the King's Buffet tonight. Everything shall be awarded and available to you.
I find that offensive since I don't eat or drink.
Why not?
I don't need to?
Odd. Well, try your best and don't offend him.
I am gonna nudge Bree real fast and ask him, like, do you know what the deal is with the pool? Basically, I really want to get in what appears to be a hot tub, and I'm just trying not to cause a scene if I get into a hot tub.
Do I know what the deal is? I was in the army for a while.
So yeah, you've seen Concoctians, especially the officers mostly. They, while in their bottle, will submerge themselves in another liquid of some sorts, and it helps something about the glass that they're consisted of in sort of like a cleansing sort of manner. So Grant, it looks like what it looks like. It just would be odd for you to jump into it. But you've already hugged and kissed him.
We're all friends here.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go for
So
it.
Cleansing pool of some
You're going to slip into the cleansing pool?
Mm-hmm.
Don't poop in it like you did the last one.
I quite wouldn't. Grant, I'm going to need you to give me a Constitution save.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
He's going to poop in the pool.
15.
15. Oh, man, this is hot. It is much hotter than you figured. But, you know, with most of your clothes on, it's not that bad.
I should have dipped a toe.
Yeah.
I will offer a hilt to help get you out.
Thank you. I'm gonna get back out. I'm very soggy.
Oh. Never had a guest jump in like that before.
You guys should really have one of those like signs that has all the rules on it, like lifeguard not on duty and pool is very hot.
That would be improper. Any laws or regulations of the Emperor are not permitted to be written.
Then how do people know it?
Other people know it, and you ask them.
But then if you're alone, do you have no laws?
No, all the laws apply, especially when you're alone.
You're just expected to know, and if you mess it up, then, well, you should have known.
Quite right.
But aren't laws fundamentally an agreement between the government and the governed, and therefore need to be written down so that everybody is aware of them?
No, they've just been decreed, and they stay that way.
But the people outweigh the oppressors of themselves, so at any moment they could rise up against you, so it's an agreement.
You know, this is it's a very complex and detailed point that you've brought up there. A perfect thing to bring up to the Emperor tonight during dinner.
See, this is why I'm mayor and he's emperor.
Speaking of that, we would like to we should prepare the topics of discussion for tonight. Now, I understand we're going to have a discussion on necessities of his deal. Anything else? Small talk?
Grant typically enjoys poop jokes.
Poop jokes, okay. I'll find out what that is.
Just to be clear, the liberation of my people is on that list, right?
Oh, yes, that's, let's see, oh, yes,
Add it.
Number 6. It is there.
But number 6? Out of...
We have a very busy night.
Yeah, it's right under whether or not we should, behead this guy.
And if you mess this
I
up,
like that
if you mess this up for me, then I don't know what I'm going to do.
Do you like being this person?
What does it matter what I like? I am. And
I
yes,
think what he's saying
is
your job right now is hostage. So if things go wrong, you don't have to worry about it, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna pretty much just take care of itself.
Fair enough.
Feel me?
Well, then I do have some reading to catch up on to make sure that I'm prepared for this evening and that I haven't messed up anything on the menu. Take your time to rest or consider.
So what are the laws here?
The laws?
Yeah.
Well, which law?
So, like, if I wanted to, say, steal something,
Yes.
is that illegal?
Well, yes, it's not yours.
So I shouldn't steal something?
No.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you're the Emperor, and then that's perfectly fine.
Oh, I'm starting to understand why they aren't written down.
So as the carriage rolls through the countryside and starts to grow closer to civilization, you can start to see more dotting villages. Some that look, a few that are designed almost like porcelainians, but more that are peppered with more skiops, the one-legged individuals, just like Courtney and Shams, or of Bessemies tending to crops, the larger frame individuals that have no head and a face in their chest. And you can also see pale people setting up their textiles and kind of hanging themselves up in the wind. From somewhat you can then hear music playing as it passes through them. But this does not surprise you most as you grow closer and closer to the heart of the Empire. What surprises you most is how quickly the sun and moon are setting every half hour.
Whoa.
Just rise, fall, rise, set, rise, set.
Wow, you guys are busy.
We are moving quite quickly, yes.
This whole thing is like a montage. All the time.
A montage. I'm not familiar with that word.
Oh. Me either.
I'll add it to the menu then. Montage. Sounds festive.
I could go for some montage.
Until finally, as the carriage is pulling up, so after about 4 hours of journey, which is the Epiphany engines just tear through the roads, you can now then see in the distance a large metropolis forming like spires on the edge of a grand lake. The lake itself seems to spill outward from the city in plumes of different coloration, like tea dispersing in water.
Ooh.
And right as you see the city arriving, you also then see a tourist frame, basically showing a picture, an empty frame, whereby you can see the rest of the city behind it. And Courtney then says, welcome, welcome to the capital of Sokietu. On the frame, everyone give me a perception check as you're flying past this thing.
That is an 11.
11, okay.
3.
3.
Yeah.
The ever perceptive
14.
14.
Oh my gosh.
Great, so awesome. So as it comes to the crossroads and this basically turns around with this frame right in the middle, you look and you can see that there is a label of the city, which is spelled Sokiety.
Wait, what was it?
Sokiety.
Okay.
Otherwise, as Bree is familiar with it, the city of Sokietu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how that word is definitely pronounced.
I wouldn't know.
The Courtney's carriage diverts from the main city and seems to be going along its western side, up to the point where you are then brought in through one of the main gates, and just on the perimeter of this city, the carriage stops in front of a tavern that looks like a massive wooden wall, maybe some 5 stories tall. On it, the sign says, The Wooden Cliff. Courtney waits as a Concoctian pulls open the door, steps out or hops out himself, and then offers an arm to help the rest of you all out.
I'll step
Excuse
out.
me, I can hover. I don't need your help.
Very well, but you may wish you had it. He then hops
What was
up.
that?
I said you may wish you had it.
I'm gonna swing my blade back up to his throat. What was that?
We're going to have a very pleasant evening.
Good.
As you are ushered in, there is a royal blue carpet that is rolled out from the front of what looks like just an abnormally large and tall regular tavern. And as you step in, there are a multitude of tables and bars, all of which are completely empty, with only the bartender there behind the bar itself. He looks like he is dripping with sweat profusely, heavily anxious, and as he sees you enter, his eyes growing large at seeing figures step in, he quickly reminds himself and puts a cloth over his arm and says, "Welcome to the Wooden Cliff! Welcome to the Wooden Cliff! Let me help you upstairs to the Emperor's suite. He's been awaiting for you." Now, were there any special accommodations? I was supposed to be sent those. Yes, I didn't get around to sending those. Okay. They want poop jokes. I don't know what that means. Poop jokes? I had a bottle of that somewhere.
Oh, no.
I'll send it up in a bit. Very well, bartender.
We're good. No, thank you.
Are you sure? It's quite happenstance that we happen to have a bottle of it.
Okay, look, Sable, just because I don't understand most jokes, just let it lay, okay? I don't...
What vintage is the poop jokes?
No.
What's a vintage?
How old
Maybe
is
it's
it?
similar to a montage.
Why would that matter?
Do you guys not have wine? I don't drink and I know this.
Oh, something else I forgot to mention. Once you enter into the capital and you first saw that, the constant sky spinning locks. It is the brightest day with the sun basically at its peak of noon. Vintage. I'd have to say it was probably yesterday.
Oh, you don't want that, Grant. That's fresh poop joke.
Most of all of our drinks are from yesterday. 'Tis the best day to have drinks from.
Why not tomorrow?
Tomorrow? There will never be a tomorrow.
Hey, how old are you?
Myself? I have been working for the Emperor for all my life, as well as my father before him.
And so how many days is that?
It is only ever the same day here in Sakayatu.
Yeah, but the jokes were from yesterday.
Yes, well, we have these places come from elsewhere in the Empire.
Ooh. I don't know what that means. Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, I am not permitted to continue upstairs. Neither are the guards. We've been told that you have a private audience with the Emperor. If there's anything you need, be sure to call my name, Courtney, of course.
Courtney.
The bartender takes you and begins walking up a 5-story tall, narrow, crooked stairwell. Could everyone please give me an acrobatics check?
Ooh, nat 20.
Oh,
15.
Oof. 5.
okay. So the two of you begin walking up these. None of the steps are exactly the same. They're all cut at different angles, basically to create just some ramshackle walkway up to the top floor of this place. Grant, you're in the back, and you're starting to feel really disoriented by this whole thing. You're going to have 1 level of exhaustion by the time you're able to get up these stairs.
With my nat 20, can I make sure to hug Courtney before I leave? Because I don't know if I'm ever going to see him again.
That's fair. In fact, you'll hug Courtney until about halfway up the stairs when you remember to drop it.
Perfect.
Because with a 20, you can definitely do that.
Does he just kind of like
It's just like a little
ragdoll down
you
and
know,
just...
Yeah. You just hear him hopping down each step to get there. Finally, you make it to the top. The bartender knocks on the door. He hears nothing until he nods at you and begins making his way down. Come in. Come in.
Okay, so do we want to like open the door dramatically or slowly? What are we thinking?
Ooh, I think like the two-handed like thing. Like
Both at the same time?
yeah. Grant, do it.
Yeah, I'll give it a good, telekinetic poof
Oh, that's perfect.
to open the door in.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Oh, okay.
Both of us are.
We'll do,
Wait, is this like a normal double doors? Are these really big double doors? What are we looking at?
they are big double doors. Like, as soon as you get up to the top here, it looks like this room shouldn't belong in this inn on this outskirts of town.
Gotcha. Strength, saving throw or just check?
Just to check.
Okay, 6. I did not roll well.
6.
Right.
So,
we both do it.
so the door rattles.
All right, I'm gonna go for it.
They're heavier than I thought.
All right. Wait. Exhaustion first level is disadvantage on checks.
Ability
right?
checks, so this counts for it. Yes.
Okay.
We're never gonna get through this.
It's gonna be a 7.
7.
We're never gonna get through
So
this door.
the door rattles a bit when Bree tries to use her telekinetic powers. And then Grant walks up from the back, up another few steps, each one more recognizable than the other. And you get right up to the door, and you just lean into the door.
Such a good idea.
And then it flies open automatically. And you're gonna fall right onto your knees
I'm gonna walk over him and then play a little like da-da-da-da for myself and make sure my mayor sash is like well displayed.
Awesome. Okay.
We've arrived.
I'll hastily help Grant up and then give my cloak a little dramatic flourish with telekinesis.
Okay, awesome.
That I can do at least to try to make up for how dumb that was.
So in this room there is lush wooden furniture and dress, and there is black velvet hanging from each of what looks like curtained windows, which is strange since you didn't see any windows from the outside. It simply looked like a bare wooden face. As well as then a singular table, a long table, which is set sideways so that you may sit on one side against the Emperor on the other. And in a somewhat reserved throne, there sits in his thin decorated vial, crown atop his cork, black liquid surging within. There sits Emperor Heroism Vial.
I'm gonna point at his throne and go, budget cuts?
Preferences. Please, guests.
We've all been there, buddy.
Take a seat. I'm so glad that you have made it. Just in time for one of my favorite activities.
Dinner?
Dinner.
We can tell.
He snaps as a velvet curtain is lifted up, and for the length of the rest of the tavern, you can see a lush buffet filled to the brim with mostly a bunch of things that you have a hard time recognizing. Quite a lot of them look like fruit. However, the sense that they give off and the style in which it's been cooked seems like no way that you would properly wish to cook fruit.
Can I smell them?
Yes, you can.
Huh.
In fact, you get a sharp scent. You have the sharp smell of ginger hit your metallic nose for the first time. Harsh, pungent, but sweet and subtle at the same time.
There's a tickle in my brain.
There always is a tickle in my bubbles for a good buffet. Come, stand and bring your plates. Let us speak as we dine and get ourselves some food. The Emperor...
cheese for me to interact with.
The Emperor stands, takes his plate, and starts walking along and invites you to do the same. I have a myriad of things here for my entire domain. If there's something that you do not find your liking, I'm sure I can have it within moments. Tell me, what do you wish to eat?
Oddly enough, ginger?
Ginger? I believe I might have something for you. And
I'm gonna lean over to Grant as this is happening and say, now, is there any way to kill a figure with food? Like, that would be terrible to do to a silverware, of course, if they could ever find a way to do it. But what about you? Should we not trust this?
Ooh.
Are you vulnerable?
It seems... Okay, so I've learned you're not supposed to drink out of the green guys. But all that happened was I had to peace out for a little while, and then I came back. So I think I'm safe.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm hungry.
Ginger, you say?
Yes.
That is the most delectable choice, yes. I don't mind if I'll have some first, and of course you can serve yourself after. He walks up to this large platter of what looks like grapes hanging on these stems, except the stems seem like they're actually entwined cloth that has been sort of just twisted into a knot well enough. And it's from here that you can get this immense smell of ginger that just begins to fill your metallic nostrils. The Emperor leans over and with his hands scoops the entire portion onto his plate. Oh, my apologies. He picks one of the grapes and leaves it on the platter. Enjoy.
Oh, how nice of you. And I'm going to walk over and try and grab his plate.
What are you doing?
Power move.
You got me a plate, because that's what you do for friends and guests.
Not my plate.
No,
You've been given your own.
That's your plate.
The platter?
Yes. It's bigger?
I never thought of that. He dumps his plate on the platter, hands you the empty plate, and takes the platter. And continues walking down the line. Grant, while you are walking about, you have this intense smell of honey. You can smell coming from one of the dishes around. But as you look around, you can't quite place it.
Grant.
Yeah, hey.
I have this weird feeling. I've never had it before, but I think I'm hungry.
Ooh.
Also, Bree, might have to accelerate that whole killing the Emperor thing, because I've never felt this way before, and it's awful, but kind of great.
Are we doing this?
Let's all chill out.
The Emperor's piling more food from another. Each time he goes up to a spot, he just takes everything from that food and licks his lips. And he goes, "You must try the savory apples. Nothing else like it."
Wait. You also said there was some like a la carte options if we're not seeing what's around here.
I said anything's possible. After all, I hope that you would recognize some food. I tried to make some accommodations for your people.
I'll
he points
sample
over.
a little.
He points over. You can just see a giant pot of mashed potatoes. I heard these were your favorite.
You should try some.
Why not?
I would, but I'm quite delicate with what I decide to eat.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate, because real royalty from where we come from actually eats mashed potatoes.
Is that so?
Yes.
Well, then, I wouldn't like to seem out of place. He's gonna go over and take the pot of mashed potatoes.
All right, I'm gonna flag down like a waiter.
Yep.
Someone work here. Hey, I was told there was a possibility for some off-menu options here.
Yeah.
Could I just
One of the waiters hops up. What is it that you require? May you describe it?
Okay, I'd like some purple, and then a side serving of having a word on the tip of your tongue, and for dessert, deep, dark, soul-crushing depression.
In that case, I would suggest the honeyed dormouse. And he points over at a platter of what looked like onions at first on kebabs, until you see that they are purple encrusted like mice on a stick.
Yeah, why not? I'll take one. Any other? What can you do for me on those other courses?
He goes over and grabs a few things and comes back with your plate. So it's got 2 sticks of the honey dormouse. You also see this large apple, which is dark brown, with a lot of heat just waving up from it. And then there is just an empty dish, which looks like it has water in it. Do you need help finding your table, sir? This should be enough for the first course.
Wait, I understand how this game is played now. Can I have a red-headed person?
A red-headed person.
You know, I can't say the thing because...
Very well. He clicks, and another skiop comes out who has this long red hair, as well as a short beard. Shall this be enough for you?
I cannot hang out with you if you start eating people.
I'm just gonna...
That's the line, man.
The thing you did didn't work for me.
Are you all right, Sable?
I'm not used to this feeling. I'm gonna try and...
What do you want? What's going on? What do you want?
Ginger?
Ginger, did you say ginger?
Yes.
It looks like there is a Blemius, one of the people with a face in his torso, out in the back where it looks like there's an assortment of meats, or what would be meats typically, but look a lot more like these large types of fruits, which he is cutting with a very fine knife. And by a fine knife, I mean more like a longsword that looks impeccably in good condition for being used as a carving knife.
Ginger, you said. Very well, how about I get you some... well, what sort of fruit do you prefer most?
Fruit. I don't prefer fruit.
Oh, that is a shame. That is my speciality.
Oh. I mean, ginger's a root. And that rhymes with fruit.
Ah, you want the root fruit!
Oh, no.
He reaches down and pulls out what looks like just the bottom part of a tree and slams it on the table and starts just hacking it up into smaller bits, which takes some time. By now, the Emperor is already seated at the table and engorging himself with a few tastes, and seems to look back to you with some annoyance with how long this has taken. He continues to chop it.
Did you want it diced?
Sure.
He begins chopping it the other way, taking twice as long. Grant, would you give me a perception check?
11.
11. So you take notice of this carving knife that's being used, and it's most obviously a longsword. But the fact that there's, like, bright gems set in it just keys you off that must be magical. As for Bree, you're making your way around the buffet.
Suspiciously.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Suspicious things. But cheese, actually, is probably the thing I'm most used to interacting with.
Cheese. Very, very, very important that you brought this up. Bree, you remember having cheese once in your life. Once when you were very young. Almost naught but a handle. Back when you were still with your family in the library. You know that cheese is a very rare luxury, only afforded now to typically the most elite of Concoctian societies. And as you're looking around, you see none of it, before a voice calls out from the table, the Emperor. Porcelainian, I believe this might be what you're looking for. And on the table where your seat is a massive wheel of cheese.
I'll go maneuver in front of it.
Okay, you maneuver. So your cloak kind of hangs down and droops on the seat, kind of giving an impression that you're there.
Yeah.
Some goblets are brought around, a multitude of goblets. There has to be more than 30 here, of different colored liquids. And the Emperor himself is already helping himself to one or two of them. Before he sets it aside and begins just engorging, lifting his cork and dropping food down his vial as it bubbles away into nothing.
I'm gonna just kind of offhandedly pour that bowl of clear liquid into one of the goblets.
Okay.
And then just leave it. Just leave it on the table. See if maybe it gets swept up.
Okay, interesting, cool. So you pour that liquid. You see a multitude of colors. You end up putting it in one that has a yellowish liquid. And you pour it in, and it seems to lighten just a bit, but retain most of its look. And it's left on the goblet.
All right. I'm just going to leave it.
Do I see the ginger that Sable wanted?
Yes.
On the guy's plate?
Yes, all of it is there on the Emperor's plate.
How hard would it be for me to telekinesis a bit of that into my cloak very quickly for later?
So, do you want to...
I do have an ability. It's a psi ability.
It's a psi ability.
Telekinetic movement. Yep.
It sounds like the ability is what we need to use, as well as some sleight of hand.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Well, at least that's with Dex.
Mm-hmm.
This is a terrible idea. Anyone not in favor of me doing this?
Oh, all in
Speak
favor.
up now. Great. So yeah, this is telekinetic movement. You can move an object or creature with your mind as an action. You target one loose object that is large or smaller, or one willing creature. And I don't want the whole thing. I just want like a piece.
Okay,
To be clear. And it is small, so like hypothetically, I guess I can move it like into the equivalent of my hand.
Mm-hmm. You're able to pull it into your cloak, and you can roll it and whatnot out of view.
Okay, let's see if I can sleight of hand this.
All right.
5.
5. Well, let me see how attentive the Emperor is, I guess.
He's eating.
Fair enough.
Can I, like, jump in to, like, do a toast as, like, a distraction here? Like a performance check?
Yes, tell me what your toast is, and you may have advantage on the roll if this toast is
that would be great.
This will be good.
That's
so much better.
Enemies come friends. To drinking liquids with other liquids. And, you know, I gesture to Emperor Vial, like, with definitely not the goblet I poured the mystery liquid into. Here, all around, to opportunities, to misadventures.
He raises his own fine, small, diminutive glass up, nods and pours it into his cork.
New roll of 14. Hopefully that's better.
14? Yes, that is. You're able to sneak some of those ginger grapes right into your cloak.
I'm still over with the guy who cut up the root. So I'm gonna lean over to him and be like, he doesn't do the toasts very often. So just give him a chance. But yeah, he's doing a good job. So what do you do when you're not here?
I'm always here.
Oh,
ready in case the Emperor needs to dine.
Well, I guess if the hours aren't great, at least the pay is good.
Oh yeah, the pay is good. Benefits are pretty not bad.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. I can see. Yeah.
I mean, I surely never go hungry. He never finishes any of this. Don't tell him I said that.
Oh no. He doesn't need to know. Did you know I'm mayor?
I noticed the sash.
Yeah.
Mayor of what?
I don't really know. Just everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Just everything.
Yeah. It was good to meet you, friend.
How elections work, bud.
A wonderful toast, says the Emperor. And a wonderful toast needs to follow up with some proper dialogue. As long as we can all take our seats, he says, out into the room.
I'm gonna take a little bit of the root and try it.
You put it in your mouth, and there is an explosion of flavor sinking through the lines of your making in your mouth.
I'm gonna just screech and drop to my knees.
Jump to attention, battle positions. That wasn't normal, right?
So
he likes it.
You screech. The carving guy immediately sticks his head out from where he was, shocked. And the Emperor simply swirls his drink, paying no mind.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Where's the threat?
Just a little.
I love the knife. Oh, that's so good.
Nothing. Wow. So am I supposed to be sleepy afterwards? Is that a thing? All right, I'm just gonna go sit down now. That was a lot.
I had no idea that figures had such a knack for patience.
So is there? So you said our seats are on the other side of a very.
Yeah, so you're all sitting basically parallel against where he is.
So are we far away from him or close to him?
It is a wide table, but it looks like he has oriented it so it's not the long ways. So
Okay.
it's intentionally trying to make the space closer between you.
I'm gonna drag my chair as loudly as possible from where it is, as close as possible as I can to the Emperor, and sit down.
So you give me a performance check. You're doing this intentionally.
That is an unnatural 20.
Wow. Yup. So you are dragging it, and you make sure to pause right when it hits like every crease in the stonework of the floor until it's finally pulled up, and you sit.
So rude. I love it so much.
The Emperor seems to be on the verge of bubbling up quite a bit before they settle. But of course, I hate to keep miscategorizing you. Neither of you are figures, are you?
We have no idea what that means.
I thought so.
Does he have any of the grapes left on his plate?
There are a few, and it looks like he's leaned back and he's sort of just done eating.
I'm just gonna take one and try it.
You take one and try it. Ooh. So, you bite into it, and there's suddenly that once again, almost a citrusy taste of ginger before it turns bitter in your mouth.
Well, that was not nearly as pleasant.
Enough with fineries, I'd like to get down to business.
Sure.
When I arrived at Goldsink the other day, I thought you to be figures. Now you say you're not. I am not surprised. After all, you did mention that things are different back in your world.
That's just
Did
like
you
a
not?
turn of phrase, like, kids these days. Our world.
Fair enough, but I don't think it was.
Grant, you gotta back me up here.
If they're not figures, what would they be? Look at them.
I'm Grant.
What is your name, Porcelainian, so that I may address you if you're sitting at my table?
Brie Camembert.
Of course. A name I'm already familiar with to some extent. When I've had the time to pay any mind to your exploits. These 3 or 2, as you have brought me, are certainly not figures.
If I could ask, what does it really matter if we're figures or not? Because we tuned your guys up pretty good, and it seems like you need some help on a project.
We do, but if you were figures, I would dispose of you immediately.
Oh, then no.
I've already been disposed of once.
You don't know the history of this land, do you? You only recently arrived, perhaps yesterday?
I mean,
Little joke we have here.
I do, but you might want to explain it to my friend Grant here.
Well, guests, you've constantly been mentioned and looked at as figures. I'm certain that's why you're able to get the Porcelainians so in an uproar and in such good spirits so quickly. But there's deeper connotations to that than you might have mind of suffering. Before my rule was the rule of Karak the Great, a Besimius, one of the figures whose faces seem to be replaced in your torso for some reference. He was the original king to have overthrown the figures in the First War. And for good reason. They are terrifying beings that have no place in the world that we have made. The world that we have fought for. The world that we have done so much to return those in the background to some malevolence of foreground living space. I know that you're not figures because I am not dead.
Yeah.
Which is what I am sure I would be if you were one. So in that case, I thought to myself, well, figures in form but not in capacity, not in history. Then where from? Obviously, you are heroes of some kind. I am heroism itself. It is not hard to notice. So where did you pick up these skills? What hole did you all crawl out from? And if you are willing to share information, I will be willing to exchange more than is necessary.
So let me get this straight. Your former kingship overthrew your oppressors.
The former kingship overthrew the only oppressors, the figures, those that shared your form and whose every whim and desire was seen to by every other denizen in this land.
And was he as much of a jerk as you, or like...
He was. He invented death. Something that I'm quite sure you might be familiar with, Brie Camembert. I've given
He
you...
is silent.
I have given you an entire wheel of our most delicate cheese.
I haven't touched it yet. I've just kind of been looking at it and looking at him, deciding between my want and my morals.
It was my guess that you have not seen something like that in many a time, have you not? Tell me, Brie, do you know the importance of cheese in our history?
I have a pretty good history score.
Go ahead and roll me history, then.
Wow, 7. No, I don't.
7.
Cheese knife, too. Hang on.
Roll with advantage, because this has to do with your direct background.
9!
All right!
I threw another die. Okay, I rolled with advantage and got a 17, which brings me up to a 21, which then with the built for success die that I added that rolled a 2 is a 23. So...
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you are able to recollect on a sort of legend, something that you remember reading as a child. And it was mostly told to you as a warning before you would go to rest at night. And it had to do with the fact that cheese, with the inception of cheese, the first cheese also brought the first death. A figure happened upon milk out in a glade that had strangely changed over some time. Something that was not recognizable. A food that would change over time. And upon eating it, this figure was the first to have died. And since the introduction of cheese, and with the rise of your kind from the depths of its history, death has been prevalent in Pentiment ever since. Yes, I'm sure you're well aware of that history.
What's your point?
My point is that though we are so on the edge of death amongst each other, I think that that is not the greater cheese in the room. the rampage will kill far more than any of my fickle policies or decrees might do in the meantime. You're here because you have found some favoritism with the Porcelainian, even made an ally amongst them, and quite a capable ally, if I may say so myself.
I'm not comfortable being complimented by you.
And I'm not comfortable complimenting you. Believe me, I've thought for many a time of having you finally in a room to myself to inflict some proper consequences for what you've done.
Oh, I'd like to see you try.
But now is not the time for that.
So
Dang it.
what is the rampage?
I've sent one of my avatars to take a look. In the early days, I only saw a glimpse. I have detailed reports from my men, however. It is a terrifying beast, a grand monstrosity larger than anything we have ever seen. Its feet are able to crush the ground underneath it, like pans under its feet. It has terrifying wings, each of it splitting apart like knives, digging into the earth and carving away at the very terrain of my most beautiful canyons. And it is armored with an immense helmet, the likes of which I have never seen. It has destroyed massive acres of our land, pushed back my people, and caused me to have to go to drastic measures in order to safeguard my empire. Those drastic measures had their own shortcomings, but they were the best that I could do to try and stop the rampage and keep it from entering closer to Sakayatu.
How did you become emperor?
I have been emperor since we overthrew Karak the Tyrant.
Oh, okay, so it was another overthrowing of... Oh, are you not seeing a pattern here?
What pattern? What do you mean?
You know what? Never mind. I'm sure you'll get it soon. Yeah.
There's a terrifying beast of no measure, or no proper way of recourse of dealing with it. However, I have some gifts up my sleeve that I think the right individuals just might be able to solve this. If the rampage is destroyed, I have no need for the Porcelainians. There's no need to keep them conscripted in my armies. We have plenty of metal for much better implements to use, rather than trying to swing something with a mind of its own. I have simply done and resorted to what I think has been necessary. And I'd like an end to it.
Well,
Hey, what would happen if I took a sip out of your head?
I would beg that you banish that thought from your mind. We have done much to progress society to the point where those who were utilized no longer need utilization, except in those dire circumstances.
Okay, I'll table it, but you gotta understand why that's just more Don't worry about it. We'll come back.
listen, he only has so many thoughts in a day. It's really hard for him to let go of, because they're rare.
However, if I am going to hire champions to do my work, I prefer to know them to some degree. And as far as I know one thing, that you are not figures. So tell me, please, in truce. Where do you come from? And what are you?
Bree leans in a little bit too, because at this point they're quite curious as to that answer as well.
Yeah.
So, you are a painting.
I'm a Congoltian emperor. What do you mean I am
I don't... The world you think you rule, your entire existence, is just a painting.
a painting? And what's your world, a ball?
Wildly accurate. Yes. You're a painting. We are kind of a ball-ish. And you are figments within this. You know, I don't really know it that well, to be honest. But how the mechanics work of it. But you, this thing you think is so important, if somebody outside of this painting, say, decided that, you know, they didn't want it anymore and just burned it, you would all be gone.
You say at any moment someone could just burn my empire. Impossible.
I mean,
I would
burn it.
move my forces elsewhere. They would never touch me.
No, it's the whole, like, existential everything.
Hey, Sable?
Yeah.
I don't think this guy needs an existential crisis right now.
It worked with the horse.
Unfortunately, you do see a level of realization reflect on his bottlage. As the Emperor leans forward and his liquid splashes about with some stirring. You're serious, aren't you?
As serious as I am, generally, yes. But listen,
You Grant! This cannot be true! Tell me it is not! This must be some hilarious joke.
Most jokes go over my head, so it is a possibility.
That makes sense, then.
Just because you're a painting doesn't mean we can't be friends.
And if our world is a painting, then what makes yours any different?
I mean, that's pretty deep. Like, theoretically, something could just come and burn our world too. We're just kind of a floating ball of stuff in a giant empty void.
Oh, wait, you are actually a ball. I was joking. That's funny enough to almost have me set aside the seeping dread of understanding what you've now told me.
Listen, everyone has that moment in their youth where they're like, oh God, this is it. You're just getting it a little late.
Well then, I'll have to speak with my advisors and see as perhaps they can shed some greater light on this.
This is awkward.
Painting or not, my people are dying. And I have a monster that needs killing. And if you say that one could simply just set my world aflame...
Oh, the guy who owns you is pretty nice. He won't do that.
Someone owns me? Curious.
Has you within his space.
I'm sure the figures knew of this all along.
Again, no idea what those are.
How dare they leave us in the dark like this?
He says as he smashes his hand down. His liquid splashing out part from his cork, where he then sets his cork back in and pushes it. Frankly, this is the best dinner I've had in a long time.
Oh, wow. Shockingly not my worst.
It's very rare that anyone is able to surprise me. And you've surprised me 3 times now.
Boo.
I beg that you surprise me a 4th.
Okay, that didn't work.
Take my offer. Put an end to this.
Well,
What I live inside and what it looks like elsewhere matters not.
as a demonstration, I would like to put it up to a vote from our group as the mayor of our group.
Very well.
Wait, what's a vote?
Yes, what is that?
So, like, have you ever, you know what? Have you ever been like deciding what to eat, and then you're with your family, and one person is like this, and the other person's, one person's like mashed potatoes, and the other person is like pies, and then there's a third person who's like, we should do pies, and you're like, oh, well, now the majority wants pies, so we're all gonna eat pies.
Ridiculous! I decree that only everyone is eating the same thing.
Yeah. But in that, wait, never mind.
Wait, you're talking about someone that's not me.
Theoretically.
Oh, that's really hard to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I'm just like one of my soldiers.
Yeah, no, there are other beings out there that like have lives and do things.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
And they don't just get to decree what they want.
No, they don't decree, they decide together, sometimes collaboratively, other times by themselves.
Oh,
I understand. Like how
yeah,
I decided that I'm a hero and it's my destiny to be a hero. It's like that.
There you go.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Mr. DeVile, this is something that helped me when I was like 11 or 12. Okay, you see how my face is here?
Yes. What?
Okay, you're not gonna believe this, but the face is actually still here.
Oh.
It's just because you can't see it, it doesn't actually go away.
I'm so proud of you, Grant.
What? Are you trying to trick me? I can do that too. Ugh.
But I know you're. Don't worry about it.
I don't think I'm going to get this. Go on with your voting, Justin.
In any case, we have a representative from the Porcelainians, and I would just like to put it up to a vote. Should we proceed with the monster rampage killing?
All in favor?
You'll really leave my people alone if we destroy this thing?
Your people gave up their utility long ago. As you can see, we've been eating with hands. Believe me, the idea of using you for military use was a striking thought that I have so far now lost all attention and want for. We can only sling so many of you at a wall before picking up broken pieces. I want the wall gone. I will
One day you're going to have to pay for all the people, for all of us that you hurt, but
perhaps so.
Stop it for now.
Perhaps so.
If we can put an end to this for now, then okay. I'm in.
I will sign the decree, have it set up upon you slaying of the rampage.
There's processes. Hold on. The vote passes. The yays have it. All right, we're good.
Whoa. That was really official sounding. What was that?
Oh, that's like when you're running a vote, you have a certain person who kind of listens to the vote and then they declare what the vote was. And then once that's passed, sometimes it's sent to a different group of people. It's a little,
I just like the yay part. I'll have to look into this voting.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Very well. Excellent. Well, we won't dilly-dally. I've had dinner and I must now get some sleep. You will be on your way to deal with this. But first I will give you my blessing. He snaps. As those waiters come over now with what looks like an amulet of some liquid some dark liquid that's sort of sealed inside of it, and they each place it over you.
This is my blessing of heroism. Crack its glass just as you are about to engage with the beast, and you will have all the strength that you most surely need.
Do you have an extra one? We have one more who will be joining us.
Another one is brought.
Cool.
Very well. You've given me much to think about. I hope that you all survive so that we may have another discussion like this soon.
It was good getting to know you, friend.
Well, I'm done. You can stay here and eat as much as you want. I'm leaving. He steps up from his throne, which then the waiters come up and collapse down into basically like 4 boards leaning up against themselves. And he walks over to one of the windows and pulls back a black curtain, whereby you can then see a glistening green sea sort of painted there in a relief. And he pours himself into it, disappearing. We'll be back after a break! As the party is now brought into the carriage and rolling their way westward to deal with the rampage.
Hello nerds, and welcome to Let's Make It Nerdy on the Creative Crits channel, where we show you how to make craft cocktails based off of nerd and geek culture. I'm your mixologist Bree, and today we're going to be showing you how to make a drink inspired from everyone's favorite sad hobo wizard, Caleb Widogast from Critical Role. And the drink we're going to be making is the Widogast Whiskey of Fire. To get started, let's go over the tools we're going to need for today. So we're going to need a shaker, the trusty strainer, something to measure with. The glass that we're going to be making this in is going to be a rocks glass or a lowball, and there will be fire involved on theme, but it's only going to be a little bit. So make sure you get something to light a cinnamon stick on fire with. Now for the ingredients. We are going to be having a cinnamon whiskey, a little bit of lemon juice, some cinnamon simple syrup, egg white, the cinnamon stick, and some bitters. We have a couple of different bitters. So this is a cardamom turmeric bitters, and then this is just good old-fashioned Angostura bitters. To start, we are going to want to smoke our glass with the cinnamon stick. So to do that, you're just going to take your cinnamon stick and give either end a quick little flame. And we are just gonna let that smoke for a little bit while we make the drink. So, the first thing we're going to need is the 2 ounces of the cinnamon whiskey. And then we're gonna need 3/4 of an ounce of our lemon juice. Now, I'm sure you notice that I am not using fresh squeezed lemon juice, but instead lemon juice from a bottle. Obviously, fresh squeezed is ideal, but I just don't go through produce quick enough. And so I find that when I use fresh squeezed stuff, I have a lot of waste. So this just helps me cut down on waste. The next thing that we're going to need in our cocktail is going to be the cinnamon simple syrup. We're going to need 3/4 of an ounce of that. Now, to make a simple syrup, all you need to do is have 1 part water to 1 part sugar. Boil that, mix it up, dissolve all of the sugar. And then to infuse it, all I did was put a few cinnamon sticks into the mix and let that simmer for about 30 minutes. You can do that with about anything that you like. You can do cinnamon, lavender, rose petal. You can get really wild with it, and it can make any drink really interesting. The next thing that we're going to do is egg white. And you can either use 1 whole egg white, or if you're using store-bought like this, again, to cut down on waste, just use about 1/2 ounce of this egg white. We are going to do what's called a dry shake, which is where we mix up this cocktail, froth the egg white without ice, and then we will later add in ice to cool it down. And we're going to shake this for about 30 seconds or until it is well frothed. You know it's getting there when the seal starts fighting you. Okay. That's good. Let's add a little bit of ice just to cool it down. Alright, that's nice and cool. Now let's go ahead and finish building our glass. So you're going to want to take a large ice cube or a rocks cube and place it in the center there. And then we're just going to strain the drink over that ice cube. And then the last thing we're going to do before we put the cinnamon on is add our bitters. Just a few drops of each. And then our cinnamon stick from earlier is going to be our garnish. And there you have the Widowgast Whiskey of Fire. So let's go ahead and see how it tastes. I mean, any whiskey sour with egg white is going to be a great whiskey sour, but that cinnamon really just sets it apart from other whiskey sours that I've had. I think it really fits the character. It's very smooth and simple, but there's just this underlying hint of spice and something more interesting deeper down. And so that's part of why I wanted to go with this. I wanted to keep the cocktail for Caleb very simple and ideally something that started with a W. So that's why I immediately started looking at the whiskey sours. I played with a couple of different varieties that had all sorts of different flavors in them, and I think the true base of the drink just got lost. And when I kept it simple like this, just a few ingredients, I think it really shines and encapsulates the character really, really well. But you let me know what you think about it when you try this at home. If you like this content, feel free to comment below with what else you would like to see us make. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe so you can be the first to see it when it drops. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I am Bree with Let's Make It Nerdy on the Creative Crits channel, and I'll see you next time.
And welcome back to yet another adventuring party where we conclude this episode, a deal most vile. Now, finishing up your dinner with Emperor Heroism de Vial, is there anything else anyone wants to do? The buffet is completely left open. He has exited the room. The top floor of this inn is currently at your disposal.
Now that he's actually gone, I'll eat a bit of the cheese.
So you sink your knife into the
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
It is.
Sorry, I will interact as the case may be.
It is an amazing feeling sinking in to cheese once again. It's like you're overwhelmed by nostalgia. Immediately, you've got your grandmother's face back in your image, back when cheese was still on a platter, and back when it was served in the library you worked in. And you're also going to get a +1 AC bonus while being coated with the cheese
Hey.
for this next encounter.
Yay! We know that somewhere.
Grant, how about you?
I'm gonna go talk to the chef. We saw chopping all of.
Oh,
this
yeah.
That
He's back there.
vegetable.
What? You want some more? He says.
That's a fine piece of equipment you got there. With
Does the job, doesn't dull.
nice.
I was given this when I was promoted.
Oh, cool. Who gave you the promotion?
I don't remember. I was just told I was promoted. I never met my boss.
That's
Like I said, I'm mostly here all the time. Except when he shows up for his buffets.
oof. Well,
Wait a minute. Is the bartender my boss? He's like my best friend. Oh my god. I didn't get anything from him last... I've got to go. He says. I've been a horrible employee and a horrible friend. I didn't even think of who my friends were till that metal man walked in here. That's... can you all tidy this up for me real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Good.
You've done all the work. We'll do cleanup.
Good. I'll get going. I'm coming, best friend.
Goodbye,
he
friend.
says as he then goes and runs down the
So
stairs.
much.
He leaves his +1 longsword being used as a carving knife just right there on the counter.
Oh.
Well, I guess we're cleaning up, so I'll start cleaning things up. I haven't gotten the message about the sword being interesting.
Okay, so Bree actually starts cleaning up, like telekinetically lifting stuff, putting it back.
I assume I just see Grant staring at the sword, like having a moment, right?
Yeah, Grant, you're just staring down at the sword. It's like a completely silvery blade with just a few embedded gems, and the way it glistens, there's not a speck of carved fruit or root on it. And you can just see it reflecting your face right back into it.
Your guilt. I'm gonna go over there and hand it to him. My friend said you could borrow it. Well, he didn't say you could borrow it. He looked like you could borrow it.
Sabo hands out the sword.
Blue cheese didn't make me feel like a bad person. Crime did. Do I feel like a bad person right now?
We'll bring it back.
Oh!
I'm definitely gonna see these people again, especially meat carver guy, thing carver guy. He was really nice.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to leave him a substitute. So I'll set my
Short sword
down.
Yeah, you set your short sword down.
Yeah. Gonna. I don't know if we have anything to write in. Maybe just like with some food or something. I'll write like arrange some carrots to say like I owe you.
Yeah, okay.
He's just gonna come
Awesome.
into a pile of
You
carrots.
arrange that, and then now you look at the sword and the message next to it and the sword you're leaving behind. This feels better.
I'm gonna look at his
Okay.
message. Is it in any way intelligible?
Can you write?
I can write. I might need Sable to rearrange the O and the U.
Okay.
That
IUO.
IUO.
oh that Grant. He can't write.
And Grant reaches out and grasps the sword. And we're going to smash cut to 3 days later on the road in the carriage. You are far outside of the capital of Sakayatu. You've already crossed past most of the Empire laterally? Yeah, laterally. That's correct. And now you've left these rosy-colored fields for a deep, dark, purple canyon side. There are bluffs, and there is just an arid dryness out here to all extents. And with you, you are followed by 2 Concoctian carriages with soldiers escorting you to the western front. Once again, day and night has returned until now, as the carriage rolls slower, pulling up into these canyons, you can then start to see villages completely demolished, wrecked, and it looks as if the ground itself came up from the weight of something and spilled over and into and re-solidified. Give me a perception check, please. Grant or Sabo?
14.
Back down.
9.
9, okay. So, Bree, you're looking out at the massive destruction. You can even pinpoint a few porcelainian villages just by their design, their humble placement among these hills, washed away in wreckage and refuse.
It really is bad out here.
It looks as if the terrain itself has warped from this creature's passing. Except Sable, you recognize that the warping of the terrain looks less like destruction and more like oil paint once again coming undone. These carriages roll in to where then you can see a massive perimeter of Concoctian soldiers. Barricades and walls have been set up and obviously have been moved several times farther back, as you can see broken battlements left from where the line previously was. And as you step out from this carriage and look across the valley, it looks as if the entire landscape has been ripped up in dabs of agitated paint. "You're here! You're here!" says some of the Concoctians. "Come, is there anything you need? Weapons?
No, I think we're good.
Armor?
Oh, what are we talking armor-wise?
That's I don't got anything for you, man. You've got
yeah,
you've got
the legs.
yeah, you've got a bunch of. That's really impressive.
He can take these off. Pulls down his pants again.
You pull down the pants. Every time you pull down pants, everyone in this world just has like a interesting curiosity, but they're kind of confused and they don't get it besides that.
I assume I have to help you get your pants on in the morning, so this is just not weird.
You must be the figures then that the Emperor has aligned with.
Well, I've been told to say no.
as this soldier who is wearing Concoctian garb, but from what you can tell is a Skiap, leans forward. He brings up his hood, and Shams gives a slight wink.
Ha!
So you've heard, then.
Well, we've been doing all we can to try and get an eye on it, but we haven't seen it yet. Somewhere down in that canyon.
I'll pose heroically at the edge to look out over the canyon,
Bree.
which really just looks like this. Like this is a
Yeah, put over the edge. Bree,
With billowing.
Bree, give me a perception check. As you scan and the light kind of reflects on your knife as you look down into this canyon.
13.
13. You're looking for some time until... Yes! You see some massive form. It looks like the ground itself warps up into a place, almost like a hillside, until, Bree, you're able to see it flinch a bit as a wing stirs. You only see a tail end of this great thing hiding behind a bluff.
There. I'll swing around to point at it.
Shams brings out a telescope and looks down it.
Yup, that's the rampage. It's probably at rest right now. Might be the best time to take your action. Now, you did make a good deal with the Emperor, didn't you?
Yeah. We even introduced the idea of voting.
Oh my goodness. You even got his blessing.
Oh, this thing? Yeah. They're kind of ugly.
Wow.
They're a means to an end.
Yes.
That's all.
Well then, my crossbow's not gonna do well from this range. I'll be here with the Epiphany if you need it. Best of luck to you, friends.
Yeah, Shams, we don't want to lose you.
They open the gate where there is a slope that has been artificially sort of pounded up to then create a stairwell that leads down into the canyon. They open the gate, let the three of you pass in, and then shut it. Before doing so, however, one of the Concoctian officers, a potion bottle, reaches in and fills 3 vials of himself and hands them to you.
I'll take them.
If you're going to fight for Concoctia, then some Concoctia should fight for you.
Red.
Red.
Okay.
You all have a healing potion.
Nice.
So, you begin descending down into this canyon, and from here is where you can really see the destruction of this terrain. It looks like what was once a casual sort of slope has now been peppered in almost 20-foot diameter impressions, breaking up the ground into concentric broken parts.
So this is now an impressionist painting.
It is now an impressionist painting. And for the first impression of this, I'm going to want a survival check. You can see where you're needing to go. It's how safely you can get there without getting stuck in this stuff.
Oh, wow, that was way better than I was
I
expecting.
mean, I float. But...
Yes, you do float.
17.
17. Okay, wow. All right, so Sabo immediately starts pointing out the way. It looks like between these broken sections, there are a few berms that seem quite stable enough for you to get down and through the canyon up to where this bluff is. And
Hey,
yeah,
when you told the Emperor that we were all a painting, that was one of those lies, right? Just to throw him off a little bit.
At the end of the day, we're all just entities living in worlds that we can't control. I can't tell you what your world is. Yeah.
if it helps, this place makes so much more sense to me than the place we came from.
And on top of that,
Okay. Thanks.
you're kind of one of the best people we've ever met. So, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
And as you turn
Thanks.
around that bluff with those deeply refreshing words, you see the rampage. You see, Bree, a massive creature with flat feet crushing the ground underneath it. These horrid billowing wings, each part of which looks like a razor dagger, slick with prismatic oil of the terrain and ground around. And atop it, this horrific helm building up to the sky. And what Sabel and Grant see is a 120-foot goose with a metal leg stuck on its head.
Oh, God. Huh. Still making sense to you there, Grant?
It's a goose.
You can hear some, like...
I've never seen anything more terrifying in my life.
Yeah, they're mean.
They kind of are, yeah.
It's currently...
You've met one of these before and you survived? Well, that's something.
It's currently, like, balled up, and you can see that this leg is just laying up the bluff as if it's sort of resting. The part of its neck that can be seen, which is not much at all, is sort of cocked at a very uncomfortable angle.
So there's Bree, just for helping here, they're very necky creatures, like very long necks. So just go for the neck, like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that aside from one very small section, the rest of this neck of the goose and head is entirely encased in this massive metal leg.
Oh, that's a problem.
One that, proportion-wise, just seems very similar to the hand that you discovered in Direction Forest. But its entire neck mostly is encased by a massive slab of metal.
So like lower neck.
And you don't see the head, you just see the foot upside down like that.
Yeah, it got its head stuck in a boot that's happened to someone I know.
So, Bree, there you are. You see the most terrifying creature there in front of you.
All right, hideous fiend. This is my destiny, and it is yours to die. And I will. We were told to use the Emperor's blessing.
Yes.
And I was back and forth on that until I saw the thing. So I'm gonna use the Emperor's blessing. Here we go.
You crack the Emperor's blessing with your telekinetic sort of power.
Mm-hmm.
The liquid inside spills out and immediately evaporates upward, going up your blade and then into your faces if you were to break your own. Everyone gains 30 temporary hit points and a 1d4 bless on any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check.
Nice.
Is that a one-time?
That is during this, for the next hour. Or
Okay.
basically this encounter. And Grant, it's been enough time, you're not exhausted from the stairs anymore.
Oh, yes.
Yep. As far as combat goes, you all have the initiative.
Oh, are we rolling?
We are going to do side initiative, meaning if it's not my turn, it's all of yours.
Got it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take this moment. Well, yeah, I am gonna break my amulet thingy, blessing.
Cool.
And I'm gonna take this moment to give Grant what he truly needs in this world, which is to be much larger than he is.
Let's do this.
Right, yeah.
So I am going to cast Enlarge on him, which that just constitutes me playing a very invigorating heavy metal-esque song that helps him feel much larger.
That's
much
perfect.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Grant does indeed get larger. His head is no longer in frame. All right, so you cast enlarge. Awesome.
And that, I think I'm gonna just
Okay, keep
get ready.
Keep that image in your heads. My legs are getting.
Oh,
tired.
I will. I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah, I'm. What else are you guys gonna do?
Is this gentleman, Goose Man, still asleep?
It seems like it's resting, but more like it's just really tuckered out.
Okay.
It's all tuckered out.
Just debating the possibility of getting up for like a sneak attack or something.
Oh
but
yeah, you can, 100%.
I don't think you can
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Are you bringing me along? Are we doing this?
Yes.
Yes.
And I think let's I'm just giant doing tiny little tippy toe steps to try to get up.
Give me a stealth check at advantage.
All right, I have natural disadvantage, so we're just gonna even that
Yep.
out.
I've got a natural metal boot on my head, so.
Let's see. I have -1 dex, so 16.
Yup, you sneak right on up. Basically, what part of it are you going to? Right now.
Let's try to get to the portion of the neck that isn't covered in boot.
So the portion of the neck that isn't covered in boot is probably a few dozen feet higher than you, unless you start climbing the creature.
Oof.
But I mean, you could get up to one of its wings, perhaps.
Yeah, let's just do the unarmored.
It's
body.
sort of just laying down, like kind of wrapped around itself at the moment.
Or we could get the tendon, in the foot.
Oh yeah.
The feet are
Hamstring
protected
it?
at the moment
Oh.
because it is sitting
Dang
down
it.
as a goose
Okay,
does.
That's fair.
Well, let's get a wing.
Grant.
All right.
Yeah.
What
That's
is
good
it?
cut.
Okay, I'm gonna get us up.
Tasty.
Is that all of my movement, or do I have enough left over to make an attack here?
You're able to move up close enough to attack.
Grant, what is the deity that you like preached to or whatever as a cleric?
Oh, I
As
didn't
a
pay enough
paladin.
Or
attention.
paladin, sorry. Oh, you pay enough
You
attention.
don't know what your deity is?
Okay, so technically paladins just have to have an oath to an idea.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to
I
just
love that idea.
play a song that you have recognized in the past as something that makes you feel good, and like very gently, a gentle song, so that
All
as to
around the
in
mulberry bush.
yeah, very basic. Yeah, no, it was between that and the ABCs, and that's going to inspire you. So you get 1 inspiration die.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, Grant, if you take Bree and move up, then you're probably the full 30 feet away from where Sabel is staying after just casting on those things on you. And yeah, you're...
Also, I have reach, so you don't have to get all the way there.
Good point, yeah.
It is a
Well,
long.
in that case, I'm gonna let you down so you can do your thing, and
No,
then
you should go for
Wield.
it. You can attack with me, and then I'll do my attacks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. I'm gonna make an attack with Bree.
All right, you have advantage.
Okay.
And a D4 bless.
What are
an inspiration
we
die.
talking about stats wise here for using?
It is. I am a glaive, so I am a strength weapon, and my damage is 1d10 plus. Well, I actually don't know if I add.
It would
mine
be
or
plus your
bonus.
strength, Grant. So 1d10
Okay.
with reach.
Okay. 1d10. Let's see. It's gonna be a +5 to hit. So, let's see. And 13. It's gonna be an 18 to hit,
That hits! Direct
All right.
smack.
and then 1d10 damage plus strength modifier. So that is gonna be 6 plus 3 plus 2, 6, 11.
11 damage. A solid strike. However, there's... Bree slices in to the goose, but there's a lot more goose. Now that Bree is attacked, what will Bree do?
I guess I'll pull myself out and go for another attack.
Okay. So then that's when, Grant, you'd probably switch to your longsword?
Oh, yes, but actually, I'm going to go ahead and imbue that one with a quick, what do you call it? Divine Smite here. So let's
okay, yeah, let's do some more damage. Nice.
Let's do 2 more D8. 1 sec. That's not great. 10 more, though.
Wow, okay. 10 more. Nice.
That felt really weird.
Yeah, Bree, you have this radiant light just flow from your handle into this beast.
From an unknown divine being, as we've established.
Yeah, you've never experienced anything like this.
I just like to think that your divine being is just like Elmo. Like...
Elmo says, smite your enemies!
Yes, my lord.
I'm gonna go ahead and actually add, since I am the weapon being used here, I think I actually should be able to add Psionic Strike onto that as well.
Okay, yeah. Well...
No, I can wait.
Stick
I can do it on
to
my
your
turn.
attacks.
Hold off. Use it for
Okay.
yours.
Yeah, okay. I'm going for it. 16?
16 hits?
Yeah, okay. I will do, that is 11 damage. And plus 5, yes, 5 more is 16 damage, yeah.
All right, okay.
Nice.
All right, so yeah, you just start carving
pretty
away at
good.
this thing.
Yeah, I'm glowing, I'm slashing, life is great. I don't understand what's happening, but I think we're winning.
So you start stabbing into it with all these blessings, and then it stands up. You see the feathers shake slowly because of how gargantuan this goose is, before its massive padded feet can be seen as it lifts up its form. And as it does so, its other wing on the other side slips out from being embedded in the ground, and the bluff cascades into a landslide. I'm going to need Bree and Grant to give me a dexterity saving throw as this landslide starts barreling towards you.
Dex?
Yes.
That's only a 6 from me.
Ooh.
That's going to be an 8 for me.
8! So you are not prepared. Basically, just as you stab, it lifts up, and then right from under the goose, just barreling ground coming at your face. Both of you are going to take 7 bludgeoning damage, as well as 1 cold.
Oh no.
There is an immense sort of cold damage. There's an immense sort of frost that seems to have been mixed in with the rest of this ground as you start getting buried in it a bit. And the goose stands and immediately honks. I'm going to need everyone to give me a charisma saving throw against fear from the goose's frightful honk.
Oh dear. That's way worse than it should be. That's a 10 for me.
Ooh.
18 for me.
18?
That's gonna be a natural 1.
Oh.
Ooh, you do have inspiration.
I do. I'll use the inspiration. Is that just the D4 added, or is that the advantage reroll?
Oh no, yeah, everything's re-rolled. So you'd re-roll it, and you add the D4 re-rolled as well too.
Okay. Oh well. for a startling change of pace. That was a natural 20.
Nice.
Wow.
The goose is scared.
Yeah, so it honks.
I honk back.
You honk, and yeah, you turn yourself, and like its honk vibrations like go right off your blade, right back at it. Okay, actually, that's a great. Let me roll something here. So as that sound ricochets off with like echolocation, you can see the goose lurch backwards and immediately spin in fear. As it does, however, the leg on its head swings and throws it off balance as it trips, and that leg continues spinning around where the two of you are. That's a 14 to hit you, Grant.
That's not going to do it.
That leg passes right over you, and Bree, that also is going to miss you. So this massive metal leg just goes right over your heads. And then basically the goose is kind of just on one-handed foot.
Ground.
All right. Back to you. The goose is now awake.
I think I'm probably gonna do some dissonant whispers to it.
Oh, and what did you roll? Sorry. So we got
Bully that goose.
Grant was able to pass
Bully
it. You were able to
that
pass it. What
goose.
did you roll for?
10.
10. So you are frightened, which just
Okay.
means you have disadvantage against attacking it, and you can't move any closer.
Okay, well I don't need to move any closer.
Yeah.
And I don't need to make an attack roll. It needs to make a save. Yeah. So I'm gonna whisper to it. Goose are the only things that aren't friends. 'Cause ducks are cuter and swans are prettier.
It's a wisdom save.
It is, I believe it's wisdom, yeah.
That is a nat 1, which I will bypass with legendary resistance.
No!
Oh.
You insult the goose, and the goose only knows honk. And yeah, you throw this spell, and as you do, it hits the goose, and you can see your psychic energy spill upward and become a purple mist spilling into the metal leg up top. And it's at
Never
that
done that
point
before.
you can hear mechanisms in the leg start switching on.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to do some unsettling words
Okay.
on it, and which means that on a saving throw, it subtracts an D6 inspiration die.
Oh, okay.
And
That is not a spell. That is a feature. Right?
yeah.
Cool.
So it'll be its next saving throw, whatever that is. Yeah. So those unsettling words are just I've learned my lesson at this point. Honk. That's it.
So the next saving throw, it's got that minus to it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And it's unsettling because I did a really bad job at honking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Bree or Grant.
Lead us off.
All right. Well, now that its feet are available and probably the only things I can hit, I think it's time to charge those. So I presume they're close enough to reach?
Yep. You'll have to run under the goose to get to them.
Sounds great. Sounds
Okay.
heroic.
Yep. So you fly right under the goose to get closer to the feet.
Sorry. I gotta get my knife out for that.
Yep.
Yep, and I'll take a swing at it. Let's do this. Does a 15 hit?
It does, and it doesn't cut through the goose's feet.
Oh dear.
Dunk. Uh-oh.
It's got boots on its head and boots on its regular
Anything?
boot places.
Anything else, Bree?
My bonus actions don't really make sense for this, so I don't think so. Wait, Mind Sliver. Mind Sliver's a bonus action, isn't it? No, it's a full action, I think.
All right, so is that the end of your turn?
I think so.
Okay. At the end of your turn, I will spend 2 points for a legendary action. The goose turns, looking at the only two people out in front of it because it cannot see the cheese knife down below it.
It's gonna sit on me.
And it bats its wings at you. I am going to need strength saves from Grant and Sabel against its wing attack.
Oh, no. Oh, 2.
That's going to be a 9 for me.
Oh, so. Okay, and. Alright. That is going to be 12 bludgeoning damage, and you are knocked prone into the slit of the oil of this terrain.
Oh.
I will use my my protective field. Is he? Oh, I should ask. Within 30 feet of me, is this happening?
Yes, because it happened to Grant. You can't do it for Sabel, he's too far away, but Grant would work.
Then I will use my protective field ability to reduce that amount of damage taken by 7.
Wow.
That's a lot.
All right, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That is good. All right.
And I'm down to 2 side dice.
Grant, you are up. You are also down. You are prone at the moment.
What is it? A bonus action to get up, or is it all my?
It's
movement,
half your movement.
Okay.
Which it's half your movement, and this is difficult terrain because of how destroyed the ground is. So it's going to be full movement stepping up. Luckily, it hasn't moved yet, so you're right there where the goose is.
Okay, so I'll get up and let's take we're just going to start out by taking a swing. 1 second here. Ooh, nat 1.
Ooh.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and burn inspiration.
Okay, yep.
That's
Nat 1s are a good time to do that.
Yeah, that's
from experience.
This is the bad feel. There we go. 18 to hit.
18 to hit does hit. Yes.
All right, and then we're gonna do not a ton, 8 damage, but and then for my bonus action, I'm gonna cast Compel Duel.
Ooh. Okay.
So it's going to need a Wisdom saving throw
with a D6 minus, right?
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Or enter a chivalrous duel.
So my roll was 10. It's now 4.
All right, the saving throw is 13. So
it fails.
Basically, our goose friend is going to take a disadvantage on any attack rolls other than me.
Okay, got it. Awesome.
Nice.
You have got the attention of the goose. It wobbles its leg head on top of itself, and then kind of balances it now with its focus centered on you.
And it's moving weirdly like a dinosaur, which I find deeply unsettling.
That's everyone then.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna have a layer action. It whips up one of its wings right at you, Grant. And the ground is lifted by an air current as there's a burst of liquefied ground around you. I'm going to need you to give me a strength save.
Let's see.
DC 13.
Ooh, 8. Not going to do it.
You are restrained in solidified paint.
Ooh.
That is coming up around your legs. It is then going to use a bonus action with its nimble escape and disengage from you. So it just stomps away, both as Bree and Grant, you're still trying to swing at it, but it just stomps away and then turns bringing the boot head down and charges right at you, Grant.
Would that be more than back at me?
What do you mean?
Is it just if it's trying to move more than 30 feet away from me, it needs to make a saving throw?
Oh, really? Okay. Yep. Challenge duel. It's a rare spell. Never see it used. So that is going to be a 15.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay, so yeah, it's able to move away, and then it starts trampling towards you. And I've got advantage on this one. That is a 19 to hit you.
That's gonna do it.
Okay, so you're getting stomped by the foot. And then by the goose. You're gonna take 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And, a little bit more, actually. Hold on. Because of the trampling charge. 19 bludgeoning damage.
Down into actual hit points.
And I'm going to need another strength saving throw. As it tries to knock you back into the ground.
All right. Whew, not doing great. 7.
7. You are knocked prone, and as you hit the ground prone, the goose lurches back up, the foot on its head cocks a bit, and it gets to make another attack as it stomps down at you.
Oh my god.
All right.
That is a 17 to hit you.
Not gonna do it.
So you roll right out of the way before this giant metal leg crushes you.
I don't know why it was a good idea to really make it angry just at me. That was bad.
It is your turns once again.
So I'm gonna try Dissonant Whispers again.
Okay.
This time I am going to make it the sound of coyotes approaching.
Ooh, okay.
With like little woo yip, woo yips.
Grant, I need you to pick me up. I have an idea.
That is a 12.
I need to get
does not pass.
unrestrained.
It has one more legendary
I thought you were knocked
resistance.
prone.
No!
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So
Are you
once again, your spell dissipates and goes into this big leg, which suddenly you can hear more mechanisms activate, and then the goose's honk goes from honk honk to like sounding like something's pressing up against its larynx.
Oh.
And now there's a metallic tinge to its honk.
Oh dear. That's a
I
little
need
scary.
a cup or something to honk into.
Nice. Okay. Anything else?
I think that is now all of the things I can do.
All right. Bree or Grant?
Okay, so I was restrained, but then I was knocked prone. Is that
so?
Do those stack,
yes, they do. You are restrained and knocked prone, which means you cannot get up from prone.
Okay, can I unrestrain him?
You'd have to
cutting the paint.
Yeah, you'd have to cut through the paint, and that's the danger is you'd be cutting him too. Yeah, go ahead and give me an attack roll. See how precise you can be with this.
I am sorry in
But
advance.
hold on, you were under where the goose was.
True.
So the goose has returned back to that. If you get to Grant, you'll have to move out back from under the goose again.
I'm gonna take that risk.
Okay. All right, you're there at Grant. He looks like he's mostly paint. He's joining the painting.
Oh no.
19 to cut him free.
Ooh.
19. Yes, that cuts the restrained away.
Grab me.
Okay.
I would like to use my action surge for a second action, which is my telekinetic movement ability that we talked about before. I've got expending another die to use it. This time, I am moving. The target is large. It is Grant, 30 feet onto the goose's back, holding me in his hand.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Grant flies up into the air and sets onto the goose's back. Awesome.
I don't know if this was better, but it was different.
You are now about 50. Well, how far could you move it? 30 feet?
30 feet. So if
Yeah,
I can attach
you know
this
what?
to a wing, I'll take it.
Yeah,
like,
you'd be able to get up onto one of the wings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Start running.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move up the goose.
Start running up the goose. Give me an athletics check.
You got it.
Trying
Come on, Shadow of the
to
Colossus,
climb
we're
up a
doing
moving
this.
creature is quite tricky.
Yeah.
It's
So
athletics,
disadvantage?
athletics or acrobatics.
I'll do athletics.
I don't think you have disadvantage. You're not exhausted anymore. And
No,
you,
I was just asking if because it was moving.
Oh, nope. You do have the D4 of bless as well on that.
Yes, and again, that's not a one-time use, right?
Nope, not one time. It's during the whole
Okay.
thing.
I've
All
been
right.
forgetting to roll that then.
16 plus 5 plus... I only have a D12, so I just have to divide this by 3. So 3, 24.
24 is more than good enough to stay on its back, yes. And you're able to get right on top of its back at that point.
All right, I think I'm going to just make an attack using Bree into this thing.
Okay. You have advantage since you're on it.
14. Let's see if I can beat that. That's already pretty good. Oh, that's way better. 18 plus 5, 23 to hit.
23 definitely hits, yes.
All right, and then it's a 1d10 plus strength. 6 plus 11 damage. And then we're gonna burn the last spell slot.
Okay.
On smiting, divine smite.
You channel your radiant power into it.
So 7 more.
7 more. Oh, that is a solid strike. At this point, there are some clear gashes around the goose's body. And yeah, you plunge your sword not once, but twice with your smite down into one of its wings. And it gives out a metallic honk of pain. And is that all?
Yeah, that's it for me.
I
I
use
think
my bonus action to regain one side eye.
Okay,
Nice.
cool. So
I have 2 again.
the goose is going to spin, and it's going to start trying, it's going to run. However, the thing is, it is blinded and cannot see where it runs. So it is going to be running into a side of the canyon and smashing up against it. It's going to try to throw you off. 21. That does not beat the check you did to hold on to it.
It
So
does not.
you're just holding on, and as it slams into the canyon, there is another rippling landslide cutting across the ground,
No.
coming right towards Sable. Sable, if you can give me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. That is a 16.
16
Nice.
beats it. You will take half damage
Okay.
of a lot of ground damage.
Oh, there you go.
So you're going to take half of 14, so you take 7.
Okay.
So, okay. So the goose is completely disoriented. It slams into the canyon and wobbles back. At which point, it seems like it's mostly trying to keep its balance. The metal leg encasing its neck and head, however, is twinkling with some purple energy. And
What is that?
it wavers for a bit before it seems like it takes control of the goose's head,
Oh.
turns its foot backwards, looks down at Grant on its back, and slams that foot down at itself.
Oh, God.
So this is going to be attacked against both Grant and Bree. Grant, a 27 to hit you.
Yeah, that'll squeak in.
Bree, a 19 to hit you.
Yeah, that's good enough.
'Kay.
Even with the cheese,
Oh.
unfortunately.
You've done 2 spells on it. You're going to take 18 bludgeoning damage and 7 psychic energy that is expended out from the boot as it hits you.
Is that to both of us?
That is to both of you.
So,
18
by
plus
that
7.
logic, my protective field should get both of us.
Yeah.
6 of that is stopped, so how much was that?
18 and then 7.
So,
So 1 psychic damage, 18
double
bludgeoning.
down to 19.
Set 19.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's moved, it's done that. All right.
Those temp hit points are barely still
The
there.
goose is done for the moment, heavily disoriented as it also took that damage from the metal leg slamming into
Nice.
its back.
I should hope so. Ow.
You all are up.
All right, I'm gonna Dissonant Whispers it again.
Okay, come on.
And I'm gonna say, hey, so, listen. Friend to friend, can you not? That's it.
Oh. All right, let me roll my second. 1!
Yay!
And I am
No
out
way.
of resistances for the moment.
Yay! Finally.
Yes!
Let me
Bully that goose.
grab 3d6s. So does that double damage? Is it?
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead. Let's treat it as a crit.
Okay.
Rolled a 1 on a saving throw.
So that's 16 damage.
Okay, nice.
Doubled? So
Yeah, you roll twice the amount of dice.
okay, that's
Woo!
oh my
Another
gosh, high
14.
roll.
30 solid damage. Okay. So, and it's Dissonant Whispers, right?
Yeah.
So what does that also mean?
It's afraid now, right?
Oh my gosh. On a failure, it has to move. It must take its reaction immediately and move as far as the speed will allow it to away from me.
So it is immediately, you assail it with psychic energy, and as you hit it, it actually dissipates into the goose, and you hear the most, whimpering honk come out from the top of this leg. And each time it honks, the foot pad of the leg kind of flaps open a little bit. And it immediately turns and begins flapping its wings up into the air, climbing into the sky.
Oh no!
I'm gonna need both Bree and Grant to give me a strength athletics check to hold on.
All right.
That was less bueno than I was hoping.
15.
18. 22.
Nice.
That does not, unfortunately, beat its 24.
Oh lord,
Oh my
we're gonna
God.
fall a long way.
Its wings ripple with muscles, and you fall off the back. So it's only able to get, let's see. So it normally has a fly speed of, because it's got a metal leg on its head, it can't fly very well. So it only gets another 30 feet up into the air. But that is a 60-foot fall, which means 66 damage.
Oh.
$19 bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground.
Ow.
Oh no.
Well-
That's going to take me down.
I'm gonna use my last protective field to give you 4 reduced damage on that amount of side
Not
dice.
going to save it.
Okay.
So yeah, you try to throw up your kinetic field, and it forms around a completely knocked out Grant, who immediately begins sinking into the oil
Oh dear.
and disappears into it.
Oh.
Bree, how you doing after that fall?
Glad you asked. Could be better. Currently trying to remember math.
So yeah,
I'm at 14. I'm still up though.
Nice.
okay. So it's 50 feet up in the air. It was only able to get 20 feet. Another 30 feet away.
I'm at 8, not 14.
So it is actually
8.
it'd be 60. But it's only 30 feet from the ground, technically. Yeah, because you could attack the bottom part of it. So Bree and Sabo. It is your turns.
I went because my dissonant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's why he did that.
Yeah.
Okay, Bree, I'm sorry. You're up.
I'm just staring up at this thing. I'm gonna hit it with the only thing that has range to hit it, which is Mind Sliver.
Okay. Yep.
So, let's, it needs to succeed an intelligence saving throw.
Ooh, alright. Let's see how that works. That is a 1.
He's got his head stuck in a boot.
That is a
I've done
1
and I'm not
minus
much of a
4,
thinker.
so I have a total of -3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He takes 6 psychic damage and subtracts 3 from the next saving throw before the end of my next turn.
-3 to save. Okay.
Yep.
Anything else in your turn, Bree?
I'll stand up.
Okay.
Kind of like
So
getting myself out of the oil and back to floating.
you stand up. So at the moment, you're probably like 20-25 feet away from where Sabel is currently standing.
Yeah, I'll start moving towards Sabel to try to protect my one remaining friend
Okay,
here.
yep, you make your way towards Sabel. Now that the goose with a giant metal leg on its head is flying, it
Seems like we might have made things worse.
can't fly very well with it
Oh,
on.
really?
So it does have to make a saving throw to stay up in the air, which you just gave it a
Definitely made
-2.
it
So it's gonna plummet from the sky.
Yeah.
All right.
Avenge me.
And it is going. Let me see if there's a chance it hits you guys.
Oh no!
I'm gonna
I
say
guess
1
I'll
in 6.
I'll brace Blade up just in case that happens. Just
So the goose flies up, its leg lifting into the air until the leg bends backwards on its knee hinge, and the goose falls backwards onto the ground. I'm gonna need a dex saving throw from the two of you
All right.
against a giant falling goose.
That is a 14.
14 is not
that
enough.
is,
Oh,
a
wait.
21.
Do I add my blessed die?
Yes, go ahead, roll your blessed
I
die.
need to do- If I can get it out of there. Oh my gosh, that's an 18 now.
Okay, nice. So you're both able to pass, meaning you will only take half the damage of a goose
gosh.
falling 60 feet from the air down at you.
I do think that in my reaction, my attempt to, since I was already moving towards Sabel, I am dodging into Sabel, trying to like push him back
Yeah.
out of the range of this thing.
So you try to push Sable out. At the same time, this thing plummets down. Sable, you have the opposite reaction. You try to grab Bree out of the way. And do another 20. That's going to be 26 bludgeoning damage, so 13 halved.
So I'm down.
I believe in you, buddy.
I got this.
The goose slams into the ground, skidding past you, and Bree is nowhere to be seen.
Oh no.
In the the giant smear left on the ground.
Oh man. Okay.
Well, it seems like we've got this about wrapped up.
Is there? So Bree's just gone?
Yeah, it crushed her, and like wherever she was standing, she's now probably several feet under
Oh my gosh.
it.
Under oil.
Okay. Well, I am going to charge head on forward into this, I suppose.
Oh.
In the confidence that I always have, and cast Shatter on the boot.
On the boot. Oh man. Okay.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, actually.
That's a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Constitution. Okay. It is an object. It has a disadvantage on this save. The boot fails.
All right, so it's gonna take 6 plus 8, so 14 damage, and if it's inorganic, it's disadvantage. So yeah, it just takes 14 damage.
Okay, so you throw your shatter up, which goes kind of right where it's connecting around the neck, and there are splinterings of cracks that go up the metal plating, and you can immediately see bits of debris start to fall off, which loosens the boot on the goose's neck. So
I'm now convinced that because the dissonant whispers that I was nice to it, that the goose is nice, the boot is bad.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Since the goose is going to lay there passed out as the boot turns to go and stomp at you.
Oh no.
Look, if Grant was around, he'd tell you he's
that is a
had
crit.
his feelings hurt by a goose before.
That's a crit. Okay. So it's gonna be double the amount of. Oh Jesus.
Am I gonna get booted from this?
Boo.
Would you like 44 damage?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'll take it, and I'll be gone.
You are smashed as there is but a boot print left.
Oh.
And a passed out goose gasping for air.
Oh, poor goose.
That is where we will end it for tonight.
All right.
Cheating goose.
Hope all of you enjoyed this episode of yet another adventuring party. Be sure to follow Creative Crits. Make sure to like and subscribe. We've got another CalAd game coming out next Sunday.
Yep.
So be sure to catch that, and then yet another adventuring party will be back here before you know it.
Thank you.